Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty78609. I'm on fire this morning. It's 30 degrees, and you better be on fire because it's cold outside. I just got through doing my walking at Walmart, and then I went to the local grocery store here. And after I had walked off some calories, I thought, well, you know, that wouldn't be fair to let the calories go away and not add some more to replenish them. So I immediately went to the H-E-B grocery store and got me a sour cream donut or whatever they call it, something maybe I got sourdough donut, and I got coffee. I got me some decaffeinated coffee, and I put in some vanilla I don't know, milk looking stuff and a couple of sugars and stirred it around. Life is good, guys. Life is good. I rarely drink coffee, even decaf. I mean, I drink tea, which is decaf, but anyway, I'm just having fun, guys. And it's Tuesday morning. Me and my good friend Trike Man are waiting patiently for the new Bolton Trike to show up tomorrow, so we can take a look at it. But I don't have anything really to cover in this video other than it's just a driving video that I thought I'd do because it's a beautiful day. Beautiful in the sense that it's not raining and not icy. There is ice on the hood of my truck. You probably can't see it, but it's there. It hadn't melted yet because we did have a little sleet during the night. But today the high is supposed to be around 48, which is not bad at all. And then tomorrow morning it'll be colder. It'll be around 25. And then I know you care about all this crap, right? You really want to know what the weather is, right? But anyway, it's going to be a little cooler. But I'm just out for a drive. It is a pretty day. I feel invigorated after my walk. You kind of get that. Some people get a little rush after exercise. And I walked for about 45 minutes at Walmart. And it was nice because there wasn't anybody there. Yeah, so you get to walk in total comfort and just kind of check out the products. One of the things I saw, I'm still amazed by them. I saw a 75-inch smart TV. Now that's 6'3". All right, I'm 6'1", so it's bigger than I am. And it was $750. And I know when those things first came out, that would have been a $3,000 TV. So you see how they have the price up front and then falls like a rock. Same way with smartphones. Anyway, enough said about that. Let's talk a little bit about RVing and the RV way of life. You know, if you guys are RVers, some of you are, some of you aren't, some of you are thinking about it, and you know, be that as it may. You know, on cold days like this, say right now it's around 30, it's sunny, you could, you know, if you bundled up, you could probably do something outside. But you know, you got to be prepared for these days. And you know, what do I do on cold days? Because I'm here in Central Texas. If it's really cold, it's going to get down around 25 and stay there for a few hours. I leave the water dripping. You know, I don't worry about the septic or any of that crap. I just leave it dripping, and that works fine here in Central Texas. It certainly wouldn't work very well in Minnesota, Wyoming, Wisconsin, and other places because it gets so cold and it never gets above freezing. So, but here that works okay. But anyway, y'all enjoy the view. I'm going to take a swallow of my good old decaf coffee that I flavored up with some vanilla something, and yeah, it tastes pretty good actually. It is good, man. I'm telling you, does it go with this donut? Whoo, dog. Talk about a marriage made in heaven. Nothing but pure sugar. Just what I need. Sugar and fat. But on a cold day like it is now, I'll burn up some of it. You know, where you really get caught out when you're RVing is boondocking in weather where it can change to be really cold quickly. Have I ever got caught out? Yeah, caught out means, you know, that I'm out somewhere and it gets cold real quick, or I'm not prepared for what's fixing to come. Yeah, that happens. And it also happens on the other side. You know, sometimes I'll go somewhere and I'll think, well, at this elevation, it'll be nice and comfortable, you know, and next thing you know, it's 90 degrees. So, but a lot of people have found out that in the summers, for you new RVers, in the summers, the Flagstaff area, northern Arizona, is nice. And also in the winters, of course, then you get the Quartzsite area, I can't remember the name of that lake. They call it something, but it's on the border of California and Arizona. And there's several places right in there. Around Yuma, Arizona is good for the wintertime. But, for me, I've got a home base here in Central Texas. I got a home base in Capitan, New Mexico. I need to do a little finishing on to get it ready, but it's something to do, man. I hate to keep saying it and repeating myself, but I am 74 years old. I look at life a lot differently than you guys that are 54 and 34 and all of that stuff. Because, if there's anything I want to do, old Rusty better be doing it. I can't say, well, about 10 years I'll do that. Well, in 10 years I may be a pile of ashes and some on the earth. But moving right along, RVing, gosh almighty, how did I ever get into it? Man, it was basically because of poverty. Basically. Actually, when I got back from the U.S. Peace Corps in 1995, I had, of course, they give you a little money when you get out, which I used to buy an RV. But I just couldn't see. I was just in such a frame of mind. I just could not see myself getting a home or moving into an apartment in a city, because I'd lived in an area where there's, you'd go out into the steppe or out in the countryside, and there's nobody there. I mean, it's one of the least densely populated countries in the world. That and Afghanistan, I think, and also West Texas. So that's where I ended up, was in West Texas. But no, and RVing worked for me, man. I mean, it did. It just gradually. Of course, I made a lot of mistakes. Everybody, you're going to do it. I bought a too big unit. First off, it was too big and too heavy. But in my mind, I thought, well, if one of my boys comes by to visit, I'll have a place for them to sleep. Did they ever come by? Maybe 2 or 3 times. They got their own life. Remember that, guys. Your kids have their own life, and you ain't really part of it. That's a hard thing to get used to for a lot of people. So RVing, then it just kind of built on itself, and and it'll do the same thing for you guys that are, see over here in this storage building, there's a big Montana fifth wheel or an Outback fifth wheel. You got a $60,000 unit there stored in a storage building that costs you $150 a month. But different strokes for different folks. But if for me, having a home base works for you. Other people that are full timers and don't have a full home base, Quartzsite's okay. But I have to tell you, I've been out there a couple of times. Their winters aren't that mild. I mean, to me, it was cold a few days. It also gets a little damp and misty and stuff in the winter, because I guess that's when they get their annual rainfall of a 1/4 inch. And but yeah, it can be a little messy out there if it gets any moisture on that clay on the ground there. But again, thousands of people go there. It's a fun place to meet up. A lot of people meet up there, and every year, and have done it for 20 plus years probably. But yeah, that and the Flagstaff area is good. That's a popular area for people. Also, some people go into Colorado. Not as many that do Arizona. I don't know if it's because of the cost or because there's not as much public land in Colorado. Probably there's a lot more public land in Arizona and New Mexico, and there's some in Colorado, but most of the land in Colorado is taken up by the military, and you can't go there. So excuse me while I take another swallow of my coffee. Decaf. That vanilla stuff adds pretty good taste. And this donut, every time I look at it, all I see is the calorie count. They put the calorie count beside all the pastries. I mean, I got some of them. One, I can't remember what it was. Some kind of cherry something was 580 calories in one thing. That's a lot. But it is good, isn't it? RVing. When will I go next? I don't know, man. Probably after Thanksgiving, maybe between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I might pull out and go somewhere. Depends on the weather. Because the weather's perfect here, man. I mean, it is cold today, obviously, but it is nice. I mean, it's warming up nice. You got a beautiful, well, it was a blue sky until they filled it with jet trails or streams or whatever you call them. There's a few clouds, but most of that is just jet trails out of Austin. Because this is a flight path going Dallas, where else? Fort Worth, any points north, west, El Paso, Phoenix, California. So yeah, it's a busy flight path here. But it is nice, guys. RVing, man. I keep going back and forth on this, but for me, I just kept moving forward in that, and then I got into it so far that I really couldn't get out of it. I couldn't economically justify getting an apartment or a home, because even a one-bedroom efficiency apartment back then was around $400 or $500 a month, and I'm thinking, whoa, dog, that's not good. I mean, my RV at that time was bigger than the apartment. Not that, and somehow we're psychologically programmed to think that the larger the home is, somehow the better. That somehow we have achieved some goal by having a very large home. I went through that period. I went from about 1,000 square foot home to the second home was 1,500 square feet. The third home I built was about 2,800 square feet, and the last one I built was about 3,500 square feet. And yeah, why? Well, I thought that's what you were supposed to do. You certainly didn't want to build a smaller home. I mean, the Joneses would not have put up with that. But I never even considered it. Never even considered it. I never remember at all thinking, well, Rusty, instead of building a great big home that you don't need, why don't you build you a smaller place? Because I did have a wife and kids. Some kids were mine and some kids were Sancho's. But you know what I mean? The old yours, mine, and ours thing. And when you go introduce your kid, your family, your wife has got your name, of course, but then your kids have 3 different names. This is Smith, Jones, and me. How true. Coming into Kingsland, Texas, guys. Time right now is what, Rusty? 10:27 a.m., 33 degrees now. Got a little breeze, not too bad, but I love the fact, cold days when it's clear or, almost clear aren't that bad, but the ones that really are bone chilling is when it's clear, damp, and overcast. Oh man, you just can't get warm. If you have a fireplace, you can back up to it and put your butt in the fire and you still don't feel it. Well, I've got a little Pelonis heater, electric heater, that I back up to. Yeah, I wonder why we back up to heaters. I've never figured that out, but we do. I remember as a kid, standing in front of an old Dearborn heater. What we would do first when we got up in the morning, we'd lay our blue jeans in front of the old Dearborn heater and then go back and get in bed for a minute or two, then come back out and put on our blue jeans because they'd be warmed up a little bit. And Mother used to set a coffee can on top of those old Dearborn heaters, because old Dearborn heater somehow, I guess, took all the moisture out of the air, and it would gradually evaporate all the water out of that can. I remember I'd check it every now and then and add water to it. I was really a responsible young child. Yeah, the good old days. And with the only cover we had, we didn't have any electric blankets, certainly no central air and heat. That was totally unheard of at that time. We had one Dearborn heater there in right by the bedroom area, and then there was none in the living area, and then there was one in the kitchen area. And when Mother was cooking breakfast, that heated up where the area where she was cooking, and then there was another in the little dining room where we sat and had our breakfast. And but I remember this too. And our dining room out in the country, which was up on a hill with a beautiful view, we would sit in there, the whole family. We had 3 sit-down meals every day, the whole family, when we were all at home. That was a fact, and there were no smartphones, no nothing, no TV going on, no nothing. And but we had a beautiful view. We had windows all around that dining room. I'll never forget that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful view. Beautiful. Well, I was going to park here and go check my mail, and look at old Sancho pulled in here. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to back over here on the side. I love it when people do this. He don't care. Hell, bother him 5 cents. That's life, guys. You know what I mean? You got to learn to deal with it. I'm trying to get in here without backing over this car behind me. But anyway, guys, the good old days and RVing, kind of what I'm talking about here. But for those of you that are thinking about RVing, don't think about my way of life. You think about your own way of life and enjoy it the way you want to. And with that in mind, at the post office here in Kingsland, Texas, 34 degrees. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want. If you think about it, use the Amazon link. Appreciate it. What else? Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, take deep breaths, hold it for a few seconds, breathe out slowly. Do that several times a day to relieve stress, and stand guard at the door of your mind. Exercise your body, and then eat you a big old 300-calorie donut and 150-calorie cup of coffee with crap in it. That's smart, isn't it? What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.